Hello everyone. It's not Tuesday again, but this is Harp Tuesday, and it's actually Wednesday, February 1st, 2012. I had a busy week and didn't quite manage to get this done yesterday, but this is the third part in it's going to probably be 4 or 5 part series on arranging Greensleeves. And I'm taking Greensleeves and treating it to sort of a theme and variations and talking about some of the things that I'm doing to hopefully encourage you to do the same to some song or tune that you like. So when we left off last week, I just completed the first 2 variations and was going to move on to variation 3. And as I mentioned, my plan was to take the tune down into the left hand and have the right hand sort of wandering around up here. And that's exactly what happened. So we finished off with this. And then I've got the left hand playing the tune. And I'm not completely sure that that's how it's going to end up. This, to start with, and then suddenly the right hand's dropped out for half a bar, and I do want it to be somewhat sparse. I'm just not sure if I want to start with having the first, essentially, first 3 halves be all have right hand then drop out. It's maybe doesn't work quite as well as I would like, but I'll fiddle around with it a bit more. But I'm fairly happy with it, and you know, it continues on. Along that vein, and that's something you can always try when you're arranging something is, I wonder how it would sound if I move the tune down into the left hand. You get a different register. You know, we started up here. So move it down, sounds different, and you can fiddle around with what the right hand is doing. Maybe it's just chording over it. It could be, depending on the tune, it might be doing some sort of... It could be doing some sort of scaly figure. Anyway, just something to have fun with and experiment with. So I did that, and then the next variation, I wanted to move into a major key. And that's always something, again, you can play around with. Is the tune in a minor key? See how it would sound if you switched it around to major, or if it's in a major key. See how it sounds if you play it as a minor. And in this case, what I did is I changed the chording. So the tune remains the same for the most part, except we get, I think maybe we have this D sharp happening a few more times than it did in my original statement. Yes, that's right, because instead of going in that first, instead of going into that D minor, we're going into D major every time. And so that instead of this E minor chord, I'm changing it to G major. And playing it fairly up-tempo. entirely sure. I'm keeping those E minor at the moment. I might play around with E major, and yeah, I'll talk about the end at the moment. But so that's again something you can definitely play around with, is just change the mode of the chords. So again, you know, that G and that B both belong in an E major chord, a minor chord, but they also both belong in a G major chord. And of course, we have some major chords already happening. And to tie those two together then, to get from I wandered down to this little passage. And again, I'm going to listen to that more and see how effective I think it is, but it's just a fun little sort of transition between those two movements or variations. And then as I mentioned the end, and you'll hear that, I'm going to play this whole thing for you, but I actually played it before I recorded this speaking part. And the end, well, I missed a pedal change, but also it's rather abrupt because I'm not sure exactly where I want to go from the end of this variation. We have so I'm not sure if I want that. Is that E minor or I can move into an E major. I could do I want to do something. I think I want to do something sort of arpeggiated or scales or something like that. Some sort of faster, flashier variation. And I think that leads fairly well from we've just got this up-tempo major key version. And I think that leads us well into something that's going to be a little faster and exciting. And then that might be the last variation. Maybe do probably a more extended sort of, something along the lines of this. What is it? Do some sort of transition to generally slow us down out of that, and then come in to do the original Greensleeves tune, as I said, very simply, and end it on that. So that's the plan that I have in my head at the moment. And yeah, so it could be that I actually finish the whole piece next week. And in any case, I will see you again in 1 week's time. Cheers.